Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Casey Durango here of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Sorry for my late entrance. Had to reconnect the internet. It was one of those little glitches. So sorry about that. And thank you for everyone who is here. Today is going to be a little different. Most Saturdays, I kind of come in with a topic in my mind, and I'll talk about that, and then I will change focus and look to the attendees and see if anyone has any comments or questions or sharing their story. Today, I just thought you guys should drive the bus. So I will be paying attention to comments on the side. I apologize if I don't get to one. Just ask it again. I will do my very best to get to anyone who wants to be addressed. So with that having been said, let's jump on in and let's see if anyone has a comment or a question or a feedback. You may ask me anything. I don't know everything about anything. I don't know everything about anything, but I do know about my experience with this protocol. So I can talk about that. For those of you who don't know, the ketogenic protocol, as I learned it and as I have practiced it more than 7 years now, keep carbohydrate intake to 20 grams of carbs a day or fewer. That's total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs just means eating more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. That's the sum total of it. And that is what I have done. And I have been very happy with my decision to do so. All right, so here we go. Oh, people are saying hello to each other from all parts of the world. Amber Bradley, hello from Los Angeles. My very first live stream with Casey. I usually catch the replays. Okay, thank you so much for the nice words. Some people do say they don't get notifications. There are several steps to get notifications about anybody's YouTube stuff, not just mine. First of all, you need to subscribe. Click the notifications bell, it's a little bell, and then on your device, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android, whatever, have notifications allowed from YouTube. And some people keep those turned off. They don't want a bunch of notifications. But anyway, that's how you do that. Ange N writes, I've had a breakthrough. Hey, after eating 8 to 10 chocolate bars every day, stopped last Monday. I've seen a video about vision and how sugar can ruin vision. I was starting to have blurred vision and I freaked out. You were eating 8 to 10, is that chocolate bars? I assume they were like protein bars. You know, I tend not to go for convenience foods like that. It's difficult to make shelf-stable items that aren't carbier. It just is. It's the science of food, that shelf stability is difficult without fillers and certain, ingredients that are just not what we want. Hello from Woodland, California, writes Stephanie Lynn. Kathy Collins writes, loving the keto lifestyle. My only problem is itchy skin. Is this common? Okay. I've heard people mention, I'm going to adjust my camera here a little bit. It's bothering me. So-called keto rash. I did not experience it. I've heard other people talk about it, and it kind of makes sense. Our skin is our largest organ, and if our livers are clearing and our kidneys are clearing and our eyes are clearing, our other organs, including skin, can be like flushing out toxins. I can't speak to it, and maybe you just are having a little bit of dry skin, and maybe you just need some lotion. Yes, chocolate bars. Okay. 8 to 10 chocolate bars, no matter what is on the label, it's probably not health food. So good for you for making that change. Rosa Burgos and Jen, yes, 3 weeks back into keto, my vision improved. Almost wasted money on new glasses. Fantastic. I mean, there are so many things that are benefited when we quit burning sugar for fuel. Mikos Danes, happy Saturday. I know something about Mikos Danes. The Danes are 4 Great Danes. I have 2 patrons who have who have Great Danes, more than one each. Unbelievable. Mary Kay used coconut oil to help. Oh, for your skin? So, Mary, did you apply it topically or did you consume it? Hi from Georgia, writes Terry Waters. And K Rep writes, I have been experiencing keto rash also, uncomfortable. My understanding is that it passes. It's like a flush. Stephanie Lynn writes, and I understand I could polish off a whole box of cookies. Ugh. And I was pre-diabetic. You see, that's the problem with these convenience foods. They're convenient. And very often they are geared to make us eat more. And particularly if we've decided that we're going to believe that if something says keto on it, that it's okay. I don't believe any food product that has the word keto on it. Just don't. Don't. I was just talking with a woman. She went into a local bakery. It's called the Keto Bakery. They touted that their baked goods were 5 net carbs. But then they did honestly post the total carbs. 1 cookie, 5 net carbs, 37 total carbs. Uh, 93 Riz, 903 Riz. Good morning, Angela from Goodyear, Arizona. Following the page 4 protocol, I've lost 15 pounds since May 5th. Not bad for a 65-year-old. Thank you, Casey, for your common sense approach. I was just being interviewed for a podcast that'll air next month, probably. And the idea that, yeah, if you get to be at a certain age, it could be your mid 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It's too late for me. I'm too old to make a change. Some people feel even if I make the change, my body's too old to have anything change. Not true. I was morbidly obese for 30 years. I cannot show you the photographs, but you can go to my blog, link below, but it's just caseydurango.com. I was morbidly obese, and those photos are not from my heaviest, for 30 years, from my mid-20s to my mid-50s. And there are people, and I'm sure that are hearing my voice now. There's people in my Patreon private Patreon support group in their 70s, 80s. My favorite story is about Marie, who made a change. She was sharing with a group out in Portland, Oregon. I was hosting a roadshow. She told her story. She gave up sugar and starches. She was on a pacemaker. One thing leads to another. The pacemaker monitoring company reaches out to make sure she's okay because they haven't gotten any alerts. She said, no, I'm fine. So she'd given up starches and sugars, and her pacemaker did not need to be engaged. I said, Marie, that's great. When did you give up the starches and sugars? 3 years ago. Marie, how old are you? 93. So she started it at age 90. Hey, United Arab Emirates, UAEBIF video. Hi, hello everyone. Okay, Ange writes, okay, Victoria writes, Rosalda, how did you make the mind shift from I can never give up tortilla chips, you have been listening, tortilla chips, peanut butter, etc., to no, you don't eat and aren't tempted by these food cravings? Now, thank you for that question. And for those of you who don't know, I knew low carb worked for me since 1977. I was in college. I put on about 13 pounds. I wanted to lose those 13 pounds. I got the Robert Atkins Diet Revolution book, laid off the carbs for a couple of weeks, lost the 13 pounds, tossed out the book. But I knew that it worked for me. But there was a time, can you hear that chicken, by the way? I really apologize. And then there's lawnmowers going on over there. We have all of our doors and windows open. It's muggy, but it's not that hot. And I prefer not to turn on the AC. Anyway, sorry about that. That's purple. No, that's probably Dory. She's going soon. Not really, but it's tempting. So anyway, I knew it worked, but I got into a mindset for decades where, well, I know it works because, low carb would come and go on the horizon. It would come around and then it would fall out of favor. Then it would come back and then it would fall out of favor. I said, well, I know it works, but I cannot see going the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips. I can't go the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips. I said that out loud and in my brain. How did I make that change? Well, I'd given up on losing weight. I tried and tried and tried and tried. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. And this one day I realized that was going to be in my future. I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, came across the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman, my friend now. Lay off the carbs. It was keep your carbs 20 grams and fewer. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. So I said, well, I know I can do that. I mean, I don't want to take insulin. So the next time I ate, I laid off the carbs. And then the next time after that, I didn't wait for Monday morning. I didn't wait for the first of the next month. I didn't wait until after my birthday or after our next holiday or the new year. It was a Wednesday afternoon. The next time I ate, I just laid off the carbs. And I've been doing it ever since. Now, the nice thing is, when you follow this correctly for you, and let's recognize that there can be different tolerances for different things in different individuals. Dr. Westman calls the 20 total grams of carbohydrate a day prescription strength. If you want it to work first time, every time, that's what you want to do. More carbs, it might work, but then that you're someone that just needs, you can deal with the over-the-counter version. So once you do it, your appetite is suppressed, hunger disappears, and cravings go away. And I am not interested in tortilla chips. Now, peanut butter is tricky. We don't have it in the house. We brought it into the house because we needed to bait some traps for the cute but destructive chipmunks that live all over our neighborhood, undermining our foundation. And I had to resist because there's something special about peanut butter. And I believe even Dr. Westman has said he can't have it in his house. So the way I got there was I fell out of the habit of eating that food. I fell out of the habit of thinking about the food. I fell out of the habit of wanting the food. Just as the habit had grown, I did not come out of the womb eating tortilla chips or peanut butter. Those habits grew. And now I've replaced them with different habits. Take it one decision, one mouthful, one plateful at a time. Don't worry about the next 10,000 meals. It's overwhelming. Right now. Make a decision right now. Greetings from Greece. Christina Milioni. Hey, Mary Manchester. Hi, everyone. United Arab Emirates sites chickens are part of the live stream. Hey, Terry, I love peanut butter. I guess there are people that don't care for peanut butter, but people who like it really like it because it's delicious. For those of you who don't know, peanuts are not on page 4. Nuts are not on page 4. Peanuts are not nuts. They're legumes. If we start thinking of it, a legume like a pinto bean, think of it as pinto bean butter. Maybe we won't want it so much. And the thing is, it's not that I'm never tempted by those foods. Something smell, when I would open the jar to load get the stuff ready for the trap. And if I could eat peanut butter without ill effect, great, but I can't. If I could eat my husband's arepas that he makes without ill effect, that would be, if I had one food, that would be it. But I can't. So I don't. Because it's more important to me to be healthy. By the way, I never went on insulin. My blood sugar, the last time I had a checkup a couple of months ago, my blood glucose reading that morning was 60. My triglycerides were 45 and my HDL was 125. My blood pressure was perfect. I'm in really great shape. I'm on no medications. I don't even take a multivitamin. I do take slow-release magnesium. I think you can see it under my favorite things on my blog under behind the scenes. The cheapest way I found it, this is a formulation. It's the generic formulation of SlowMag, which is a slow release magnesium chloride. So it's not upsetting to our GI tract. Mag 64, I get them at Amazon and packages of 5. I take 3 a day. Okay. Ange asks, Casey, do you know what kind of potassium we need if we don't get enough from this keto diet? Okay, for one thing, there's no reason that you shouldn't be getting enough potassium. Do you know that gram for gram, there's more potassium in avocado than there is in banana? But potassium deficiency is not all that common. Magnesium, more common. Potassium, not so much. And potassium, if you are deficient, you need a prescription for it from your doctor, because if you take too much magnesium, it can be you can spaz out your heart. I mean, you can have a heart attack. So let's not assume that we're not getting enough magnesium, potassium, calcium, sodium. And often increasing our sodium takes care of all the other ums. So consult with a physician regarding potassium. Okay, Susan Rep writes, even the 100% natural Crazy Richards peanut butter, only ingredient peanuts, makes my blood sugar spike because it's a legume. It's 100% carbohydrate, not 100%. You don't have to have added sugar. Peanuts are legumes. They're starchy, like pinto beans. So peanut butter is not in my life. And now, and neither are mixed nuts. My husband came in with some mixed nuts from Costco. And we both decided they're quite evil. Irisha writes, question, I love salads. What is the amount of cut up keto allowed vegetables shall we eat? Here's the rule of thumb. Thank you for the question. Non-starchy vegetables, maximum about a cup a day before they're cooked. That's about the size of your fist, but you can get out a measuring cup if you wish. So that's non-starchy vegetables. What are those? Pretty much nothing that grows underground. There are exceptions to everything. But cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, green beans, not sweet peas. If it has the word sweet in it, don't eat it. Don't eat a sweet potato. Well, eat it if you want, but it might not serve you well. So non-starchy asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and about 2 cups a day, maximum, leafy greens. There is a personality out there saying that we must have a minimum of 7 cups of leafy greens a day. Bollocks. That is not accurate. Bollocks. It's 2 cups maximum. Okay, Rosa writes, sodium upregulates the other ones. Dr. Westman's wisdom is at its finest. Bob the sub writes, thanks, Sherry. I feel okay. So you're responding to something. That's great. Okay, Jackie Savoy, question. Why do triglycerides and insulin go up on 20 total grams? Well, they don't. Really? Now, when you're very first starting the protocol, you may find that your blood sugar does go up a little bit. Why? Here's my theory. I've run it past Dr. Westman, and he nodded. When you keep your carbohydrate intake low enough, the liver is not putting out glucose. There's still glucose in there. Our body there is glucose. But we're now not engaging the pancreas, which would shoot out insulin and regulate blood sugar if it was too high. Now just consider that when you're on 20 grams or fewer, total, not net, you're not being medicated internally. So your blood sugar is kind of finding its natural state, and then it comes down. Mine went up a little bit at the beginning. That was okay. It came down. Triglyceride, serum triglyceride can go up in the first few months because as fat cells are mobilized, there's not just fat in those cells, in them there are cells. There are hormones, there's triglyceride, there's water, there's lots of stuff. So the triglyceride can be released from the fat cells, go into the serum, but that again regulates over time. I wouldn't worry about it. Terry, are chickpeas safe to eat on keto? No. full of starch. Look at the labels. And someone posted a picture and it said keto bread. Is this keto bread really no carbs? Well, the label that was shown shows 9 carbs per slice. Of course not. No, it's not. No. So look at the chickpea. No, it's like hummus, No, it's not on page 4. They're legumes as well, I believe. Sam Lashford writes, bollocks, brilliant. Haha, just love you, Casey. Thank you. Irisha writes, hello from Texas, Angela, love your state. And you're, okay, let's not get into that. Victoria Rosauda, do you think you will plan a keto cruise for 2022 or 2023 once things fully open up again? I know you were previously going to Alaska. It's an open question. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, it would be fun, or maybe not even a cruise, maybe something else, maybe a spa weekend, go to a spa or a resort. Jackie Savoy writes, after 7 months, my triglycerides and insulin went up slightly, not down. If you're sticking to the protocol, don't worry about it. Oh no, writes Terry, there goes my hummus. Keep going, writes, I drink about 3 diet sodas a day. Will this impact fat loss? I drink diet beverages all day. Or I have a non-sugar sweetener, Splenda, in my coffee. I drink 2 or 3 mugs of that a day. I often switch over to Coke Zero or diet ginger ale. Right now, hashtag Casey's pink drink, glass full of ice, diet tonic water, a splash of diet cranberry juice, and a squeeze of lime. So you'll have to find out whether it impacts yours. Some people report that when they have the sensation of sweet, even if it's non-sugar, they're triggered to eat more sweets. So you have to find out what works for you. It does not bother me, nor does it bother my lovely mate. We are not compelled to eat more sweets. And there are no carbs. Okay, and Kathleen writes, spa weekend sounds great. I would kind of like that. If we could get a place that, I think it'd be nice. Nancy Hansen writes, keto is the only way I lose weight. Plus, I am a lot healthier for it. I am healthier, happier, fitter, in a better place personally in my brain now at 63 than I was at 33. And that is not an exaggeration. Arisha writes, I think the moment we start to sway away from the protocol, trouble ensues. Stick to the protocol. It works. Okay, I'm looking to see if there are any questions for one. Oh, Nancy writes, I love your husband's cheese crackers. Yeah, they're so simple. By the way, I have a behind the scenes tab at my blog, KCDurango.com. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff just centrally located there. And I do have one tab is what we eat. Now, they're not recipes per se. And I'm not trying to show you how to make a so-called keto-friendly devil's food cake. As a meatloaf, how we cook up liver. My husband's huevos con aliños and his cheese crackers. Very economical. I prefer them to either Wisps or Moon cheese, which are like $10 for a small bag. They're crunchy and they're super easy to make. Mary Kay writes, sheesh, I'm older than you and I feel great. I feel fantastic. Okay, quick. Shameless Commerce Division, just trying to earn my keep. Spiral bound version of Casey's Go Keto with Casey's 12-month record book, which has motivational sayings and habit trackers and mood trackers and silly things and adult coloring pages in the back. Spiral version you can get from me on my blog. It is a little bit more expensive, but frankly, it's better suited with the spirals. You can get this version, perfect bound, exact same book at Amazon. You can get it faster and probably cheaper. There's a Go Keto with Casey steel water liquid bottle, beverage bottle with little things on here. And where is it? A magnet. Are you here out of habit or out of hunger? And that's in front of a refrigerator. And if hunger's not the problem, food is not the answer. So you can get information about all that at my blog. I do want to give a plug for patrons, some of whom are here. I have a private Patreon support group. And for, depending on your pledge level, you get 20 videos from me a month, every weekday morning, in the morning, looking like the crypt keeper some mornings. And the topics are suggested by the patrons. I also do a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast and a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom. I no longer am not taking any more one-on-one pledge level. I'm just booked. So there you go. And I got a new shirt I made and I bought. It's just a tank, a little bit racerback, GKWC, Go Keto with Casey. You should be able to see it underneath this video or beside this video at Teespring. Why this? I mean, it's weird because nobody's going to know what it is. So if you get this, yeah, I'm going to wear that. And when I see it in the mirror, it's going to inspire me to lay off the carbs. It could be between you and me. GKWC, Go Keto with Casey. Okay, blue pack, okay. I'm looking for questions. Okay, Christina Milionia, clarification, please, Casey. We are talking 2 cups of steamed broccoli, cauliflower, even raw vegetables such as arugula, beet greens, etc. Or are the latter up to 7, not 7, 2. 2 cups of leafy greens a day, maximum. Maximum. That's where the carbs are. If you eat about 2 cups of leafy greens and about a cup of non-starchy vegetables before they're cooked, not steamed, I mean, like not cooked and withered down so that, a cup of cooked squash may start out as more squash. You know what I'm saying? That's going to get you about 10 or 12 carbs right there. So, but vegetables are not required. Carbohydrate is not an essential macronutrient, meaning we don't have to eat it to get the benefit. How big do your shirts run? Okay, this is a small, and I ordered it and I paid for it. It's a small. On Teespring, they say that's like a size 4, and I thought, well, I'm going to get it, but it probably won't fit. It fits fine. I think these go up to 3X, and they're in different colors. You can get black with white letters and white with, I think I did a white one as well. Hair loss on keto. Here's the question from Just Megs. So keto does not cause hair loss. As a matter of fact, it's probably the opposite of any kind of nutrition protocol. A very low-fat, low-protein diet, yeah, it's really going to, because that's no good. Any change, first of all, our hair can shed more sometimes just because it sheds in zones. And sometimes, like an eclipse, all the zones are shedding at the same time. So it feels like you're going bald. But that is just cyclical, right? Any shock or trauma to the system, anything from changing your diet one way or the other, surgery, an injury, emotional trauma, all of these things can impact hair shedding. But there's nothing about the ketogenic protocol that would cause one's hair to fall out. It's a very nutrient-dense way to eat. Catherine Fair, Kathy writes, better to eat a bit of the green stuff rather than that drive-by brownie. Sheesh. Oh, Mary writes, just check 3X out already. They can't be out. They make them to order. They can't be out. I'll check when I'm off here. But Mary, they create them on demand. So once they're ordered, they should print them. And I think they go up to 3X. Maybe it was just up to 2X. Okay, Ange, and thank you for starting this with question. That way I know. Question, is a smoked pork chop okay if it shows sugar in the ingredients? Carb is only 1 on the label. Yeah, I don't get too wrenched out. My bacon that we eat, the thick sliced bacon from Costco, shows sugar on the label. I'm not too worried about it. But of course, if you're concerned about it, just get a normal pork chop and don't get a smoked one. But yeah, I wouldn't if the label says 1 gram of carbohydrate, look to see what the serving size is. They can make something look like it's very few carbs if they make the serving size very small. It says out of stock. That's so odd. I will check that, Mary, and I'll follow up with you. Let me see if I've missed any questions up here. Okay, Paula Price writes, 2 cups leafy greens. How many ounces or grams is that? It's a good question. And actually, one of the few things that I measured or tracked when I first started on my Fitness Pal, I was tracking carbohydrate because I just, and I would eat vegetables. I mean, I didn't go, I really enjoy broccoli and asparagus and Brussels sprouts. But, we were always told, oh, vegetables are free food, unlimited. Not on this protocol. So I would get out my OXO food scale, which I highly recommend. It's under my list of favorite things as well. Excellent customer service. It measures up to 11 pounds. It has a lighted digital display that you can pull out. So if you have a big bowl or platter, you can still see it. So it's about 3 ounces by weight of the cup of non-starchy vegetables. I really don't know about the leafy greens. I can't remember. But it's probably minimal, but it's just a couple of cups. So, but get a scale and figure it out. I love the cuckoo clock. Thank you. Someone wrote about the cuckoo. Did they hear it saying, keto, keto, keto? Are sausages in moderation okay? Or should we avoid? No, I eat sausages. Just make sure they're not, steeped in maple sugar. Look at the carb count. I like breakfast link sausages. I like breakfast sausage patties. I like Italian sausage. I like it. Don't eat too, I don't eat that much food anymore. It's not like I'm, eating like a little bird, but I'm not that hungry and I'm much smaller than I used to be. And I'm older than I used to be in my stage of life. I don't require that much fuel. So yes, it's okay. Look at the carb, look at the label. Look at the label. It's not hard. Don't go by the front of the label. That's where some folks are writing about net carbs. They can write whatever they want on the front label. Look at the nutrition label. And don't go subtracting out fiber, grams, and sugar, alcohol. Just look at the total carbs. If you are starving at 9 p.m., what can we snack on to satisfy? Okay, you can snack on anything you want. It's low carb. Pickles. But let's look at our terminology, Terry. You're not starving. You might be quite hungry. Or you may not be. But have something. Time of day eating, I don't follow anything about time of day eating. If you're hungry at 9, truly hungry, eat something, stop when you're satiated. Someone said, I listen to everything you say. I'm doing exactly the protocol. I don't get it. I'm doing the 30 net carbs and I'm eating until I'm full. It's not anything like what I said. And by the way, this is not my protocol. I didn't make this up. I got it from Dr. Westman, and he didn't make it up. He got it from Jackie Eberstein and Robert Atkins. And William Banting in 1863, an English undertaker, wrote the first list, treatise on corpulence. So, what was I going to say? I can't remember what my point was. Liz Pino writes, question, how do you feel? Okay, I'm not going to answer that question, Liz, because I think you know how I feel. Dr. Westman gooses me with that word every time. By the way, upcoming events. Wednesday this week, Wednesday Wine Day with me and Amy Berger and me. You can see that under my schedule on my blog. You can register over there. It's the third Wednesday of every month. Monday, this coming Monday, day after tomorrow, if you're in the Greensboro area, North Carolina, I'm having our first Go Keto with Casey live meetup at Wine Styles, 6:15 p.m. That also you can register. It's listed. And I've been fully vaccinated. And then June 29th, I'm very excited about this. I'm going to have a live stream on Crowdcast with Dr. Georgia Eid. She's a psychiatrist who feels strongly that nutrition is an integral component to managing mental illness and mental health. I'm very excited. She's a great person, so smart. I'm very excited about that. You can also see that on my schedule and register. And then we'll start the cycle over again. The first Tuesday of the month is the Durham Support Group meeting with Dr. Eric Westman and me on Crowdcast. It's the online version of what he's been doing for years in person. Corey Lowry writes, I find when I'm, in quotes, hungry late at night, I try to drink water and it usually satisfies. Yeah, you're not gonna die before dawn. Let it ride. Oh, and or eat if you want to. Nancy Hansen writes, it actually feels good not to always be eating. Eat only when truly hungry. You won't die if you don't eat. You won't. And hunger on this protocol is a different sensation than it is when you're a sugar burner. Because then your brain is kind of telling you to get it some more glucose. But when you're a fat burner, your brain's perfectly happy. Using fat for fuel, ketone bodies. Doesn't need the influx of glucose. You can go a lot longer. It's a very different sensation. And I kind of like feeling a little bit empty. Dawn M writes, hello, I'm currently 245 pounds. I would like to lose 70 pounds, but I have failed at keto in the past. So where do I start? Where do you start? The next time you put food in your mouth, lay off the carbs. That's it. That's the only rule on this. This is all you have to do. Don't get bogged down in numbers. If you just lay off the carbs, the rest takes care of itself. That's it. And don't say you're going to do this. Don't say I'm going to, I'll do this. Just next time you eat, lay off the carbs. That is it. The rest really does take care of itself because you naturally lose your appetite. So if you're listening to your body, you're going to naturally not eat if you're not hungry. And if you eat slowly, you're going to naturally feel satiated sooner. Can we eat chipped ham? Yes. Look at the label. Is it meat? Yes. Now, if it's got lots of sauces or it's got, sugary spices, look at the label. Now, I'm not going to eat honey baked ham because it's swathed in pineapple and brown sugar, and I'm sure infused with something. Absolutely. Kathleen York, what is page 4? It's come to be called page 4. It is the food list that Dr. Westman has distributed for years at his Duke clinic, treating patients who are obese and or have type 2 diabetes. He gives them a 5-page handout stapled together. Page 4 is the food list. So the white coat video says, okay, and if it's not on page 4, don't eat it. That's it. Just don't eat it if it's not on page 4. Yep, Victoria, next time you eat, leave off the carbs. And if you leave off all the carbs, you don't even have to count them. I don't know how many carbs I consume a day because I don't consume carbs. There's carbs in everything. There's 0.6 of a gram of carbohydrate in eggs, of which we have many. But I'm not going to worry about that. Terry writes, thank you, Casey. Going to have some chipped ham for lunch. No bread, though. Excellent. Where can I find the Dr. Westman? Link below. Link below. Is page 4 linked below? If it's not, it's at my blog. Okay, and Victoria writes, I'm so glad I purchased the official page 4 from you, Casey. There are other versions floating out there that have added things like, there are versions out there that have almonds and almond flour and macadamia nuts and oranges. I mean, this is copyrighted by Dr. Westman. Now, for clarification, I'm not selling it. I've linked to it. Dr. Westman is selling it. Okay? And he did that because there were so many bootleg versions of it. He copyrighted it, and he wants this to be the official. Bob the sub writes, the hardest thing for me was stopping letting the clock tell me when to eat. Once you retrain yourself to only eat when you're hungry and rejects the carbs, it all seems to fall into place. Precisely. It absolutely does. Question. As an older woman, do I need more protein? This question, thank you for asking the question, Stephanie. This very question came up at the last Durham support group meeting, so 1st of June, with Dr. Westman. And by the way, these Crowdcast events I do is great because Crowdcast, you can type in a question in advance and it's there. It's there. And so, we're not trying to look at it like this. And he said, not that he knows of. He doesn't know of any studies. This is it's out in the ether now that older women need more protein. He says he's unaware of any randomized control studies where that has been proved. And he's all about the research. Show me the study. People just say anything and do. Okay. Hi. How many carbs do you eat a day? How many eggs? I'm sorry. How many eggs do you eat? You have so many laying around. Well, we go through them pretty quickly. My husband, my lovely mate, on weekdays, generally has at least 5 eggs between breakfast and the egg drop soup. The days I eat eggs, I don't eat them every day. I'll eat 2 or 3. They go in certain recipes that I do. Like, if I make meatloaf, egg goes in there. What are the other ones I put? Anyway, we use them. And when I make the pet food, I put a half dozen or so eggs in that, including the shells. And then we boil them and do all sorts of things with them. Boiled eggs are a great thing to have on hand. Talk about appetite suppressant. If you're not Cool Hand Luke, you can't eat more than about 3 eggs and a glass of water. Kathleen, don't pay for it, right? Don't pay for it. Although people will pay for kits and potions and junk food, he gave that page away for 20 years. Gave it away. And people wrecked it. So don't pay for it. Don't ask me what to eat then, again. Do the eggs need refrigerated? Not when they're fresh. These are from our backyard hens. Fresh eggs have a bloom on them. It's called a bloom, which is a protective seal that essentially makes the shells, which are porous, airtight. Eggs you get in the store often have been scrubbed and might be 5 weeks old by the time you see them on your shelf. No, Kathleen, no. And USA eggs have nothing to do with anything other than Italian eggs or German. They're fresh. These came from yesterday. They still have the bloom on them. Judy King, Nancy writes, everything is keto this and keto that. It is so simple that you don't need anything except the right foods. I often say, you don't need a food list. Use your brain. Fatty source. What is a fatty source of protein? Eat meat and eat the fat that comes with the meat. Eat the skin that comes with the poultry. Eat the yolks that come with the eggs. Eat the fat that comes on the steak and the bacon and the pork chop. Eat oily fish. Some non-starchy vegetables if you want them, limited to 1 cup a day of the non-starchies and 2 cups of the leafy greens a maximum. And some full-fat dairy limited to about 2, 3, 4 ounces a day. And that's it. You don't need a list. You just need to know the difference between meat and everything else. And hopefully you do. Terry writes, oh, wow, I didn't know that about the eggs. Mary writes, I go to a farm by me to get fresh eggs. Such a big difference. Ange, can you talk about dairy, please? Yes, dairy, full-fat dairy. But it's not unlimited either. Why? Well, because for one thing, it's easy to overeat. I mean, cheese is so good. It's calorically dense. So it's limited to, like cheese, I think it's 2 ounces a day. It might be 4. I have not looked at that food list since about the first week I did this because it's not hard. but someone can correct me. So you just want to be careful with it. It's not unlimited. And just because something's on the food list does not mean it's obligatory. You don't have to go out and eat everything in vast quantities. Sharon, what do you think of the protein-sparing modified fast? I don't like the word fast because if you're eating, you're not fasting. I don't think much of it one way or the other. You know, it's like there has to be a new angle all the time. Just eat the food the way nature provided it and don't eat if you're not hungry. And if you don't have to eat vegetables, what else do you need to know? Oh, thank you. It's up to 4 ounces of cheese. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate it very much, y'all allowing me to be part of this. This went by really quickly. I always say I'm going to hold it to 30 minutes, and then I don't. And I appreciate all the input. And 903 Riz writes, the best $9.99 I ever spent. People spend $4.50 on a coffee. Keep it simple. All right, guys. Check out my blog, CaseyDurango.com, and follow me on Crowdcast, and you'll be notified of any of the events. Dr. Westman, Amy Berger, George Edith's Casey's Keto Connections, where I interview people. Okay, thanks a lot, and make it a meaningful day. See you next time.